Okay, we are live. Welcome to the Free China Prime live stream. It is no longer Free China Live, it is Free China Prime. And no, that is nothing to do with Amazon. Okay, it is just both mine and Corey's channel names together. And here he is, the man, Mr. Prime in China. How's it going, Corey?
It is very good. A little sick, so excuse me with the
Shit.
bad voice here, but
Yeah.
everything should be all right.
What's up with you? Is it the Wuhan virus?
Yeah, I probably got Ebola or something. Who knows? I
Oh
mean,
shit, yeah. Well, anyway, I mean, you'll be fine for the stream, right?
yeah. If I die after, it's okay as long as we get this done.
Exactly. That's the important thing, man. So we've got an interesting show for you guys today. I think you probably saw the thumbnail and the title of the stream. We are talking about some shills. And it's been a long time since both Corey and I have spoken about some shills. I know you did recently a video about Mr. Bold and Bankrupt. Am I correct?
Yeah, of course.
Mm.
Everybody knows Bald and Bankrupt. Hopefully, a huge YouTuber that's finally hopped on the shill train a little bit. There, he took a little ride, I guess you could say.
Yeah, right. It's crazy, man. Both you and I have had a history with CCP shills, but this
Right.
is a new generation. This is a new batch of shills. Long gone are those losers who are living and working in China and shilling, just trying to get out of that English teacher's job or trying to make a name for themselves in China. It is no longer these guys. It is a bunch of travel vloggers that China exactly China seems to have bought a bunch of travel vloggers to go over there and do these sponsored trips and walk around basically the city of Chongqing, which is a dystopian hellhole, by the way. And they're
Yeah.
pretty much going there and just blowing smoke up the CCP's ass.
And only Chongqing, not Chengdu, not
Yeah,
Guangzhou or Yangtai or any other city.
literally
It's
just
always
Chongqing.
Chongqing.
Yeah. Have you ever been?
Yeah.
I know you spent some time in China and you were actually making YouTube videos in China. Were you ever offered a sponsored trip?
Yeah, and actually that is the funny thing was early in the days the qualification for actually getting asked to shill was apparently very low because as you can imagine my channel was pretty new at the time
Yeah.
and my channel's obviously small now even but I was getting offered to go to the Hainan trip.
Oh, the
And
Hawaii of China.
yeah, right, the Hawaii of China. And I turned it down.
Yeah.
And then 3-4 weeks later, a month later, some of the other YouTubers that have been around at the time actually went on the trip. I don't want to mention names because I don't know if they would, cry or
They
complain or whatever.
might not be happy.
And
did they read the same script that they sent you? Was it like word for word?
That was the funny thing. All the places that was on my list of places to go and schedules and all that stuff, because there was a schedule and it was hour by hour. Like they wanted me awake at 5:30 and at this place by 6, and then by 7, and then by 8, and it was crazy.
That.
And so every place that they went to was on my list, so I know that they were contacted by the same people, obviously.
Yeah.
And this was a long time ago when
Yeah.
the China scene on YouTube was still pretty new, actually.
It was different, a lot different. I mean, God, that was probably the same time that you had like Winston and Sea Milk still in China. And
Oh yeah, of course. And they were still making those videos of just showing Chinese culture and stuff. Everything was very trying to be as positive as possible.
yeah,
While still kind of letting people know the truth,
yeah. How times have
Yeah.
changed.
Yeah.
So you have this new breed of travel vloggers. They're usually like a British couple. I've noticed that. I'm really like ashamed of my fellow countrymen, but they seem to really be shilling for China big time.
Yeah. It's everyone. It's not obviously, every country has them now. They've got people from every country coming over shilling. Even people that don't even speak great English, you'll see in different languages. They've literally got people doing it in like Spanish and stuff, as we've seen.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It
But
is.
all of those original shills that we used to talk about all of those years ago, they're pretty much gone. They're like they're basically scraping the bottom of the barrel. They're getting like all of the chump change. It's these main travel vloggers that are really getting all of the attention now.
The Mercedes Benzes of shills.
Exactly.
They've upped their game.
Exactly. So let's take a look at this. So there was a post just a couple of days ago. You see, March 18th, and it's from somebody called Tara Bull. I have no idea who this is, by the way, but she has 1.1 million views for this post alone. And she says there are a concerning number of YouTubers being paid to claim China is so much more advanced than America. Who is paying them, and why is YouTube pushing this propaganda? A good question. And she posted this video, so let's give it a watch.
Like it's ground floor.
On the ground.
Ground level.
The ground floor. On the
ground level.
The ground floor.
Ground floor level.
Ground.
On the ground floor.
Ground level.
On the ground floor.
First floor.
The first floor.
The ground
Ground
floor.
floor.
Ground.
You'd be forgiven for thinking that we were on terra firma. However,
We are actually.
we are in fact.
But you actually.
I'm actually.
While actually.
Is actually.
You're actually.
But actually. We're actually. We're actually.
You're on the 22nd floor of a building.
On the 22nd floor.
22 stories up.
20 stories above the ground.
You're on the 20th floor.
Is that we are 22 floors up.
We are on the 22nd floor right now.
God.
22nd floor.
Yep. 22 floors up.
You're at 22nd.
On the 22nd floor. On the 22nd floor.
And down here, there's 22 floors down the side of this building. Oh my days, check that out.
22nd floor.
Oh my God. That was ridiculous. That was totally ridiculous, man. And I think it's time. I think we need to call in the propaganda police. Oh my God. That was ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, this is what you're going to see. It's very typical of this type of thing. As I always tell people, if you want to know what propaganda is going, just open your eyes and look. And it's very easy to tell because it's always 10, 20, 30 different places, and it's always the same wording about the same thing. It's always there. This is the same case. These people are literally using word for word.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's too obvious.
It's like they've just been given the same script and they've just read from the script and they haven't deviated at all. And it's just the same thing over and over again. And I just wanted to point out that this clip originally comes from our friend Serpent ZA. He made a video about it. So if you want to check out his video, it is this one here. America doesn't have this, but China does. We're screwed. He's been making these thumbnails lately to try and trick basically YouTube into actually promoting his videos because they seem to be promoting more pro-China videos these days. But wow, that is crazy, man. Let's just go back and let's just look at it again. I just can't believe how just ridiculous this is, man. Oh wow.
And a few of those YouTubers that are there have really large followings. Of course, Bald and Bankrupt was on there, but that other guy on there too has a really large following.
Yeah, I do recognize some of these guys actually. I'm not 100% sure, but wow, like unbelievable.
Ground floor.
On the ground.
Ground level.
The ground floor.
Okay, let's talk about this thing. So on the ground floor. So apparently you would think that you're on the ground floor in this place, and then you look over and apparently you're on the 22nd floor, right? But Like, why is that a big deal? I don't quite understand what the big deal about that is. I mean, Chongqing is in a mountainous region, is quite hilly, so I think a lot of the places are elevated. So I don't get it. Why is this special?
Right. This is another one of those things that when I was there, I found it to actually be a major inconvenience. And the reason for that was because a lot of times whenever you were trying to go somewhere, if you're not a local, you don't know where a lot of this stuff is. And you're looking on your phone and you've already got to have a VPN to do all this shit. And then even if you speak Chinese and you have Baidu Maps or whatever it may be, you'll look on the map and you'll see that you're standing right on top of where you're trying to be. But what you don't know is you're on the ground level and it's on the 22nd floor. And you're like, oh, great. You know?
They make such a big deal out of this 22nd floor bullshit, though. And there's that train going through the building as well that they keep talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's because, it's just like China has figured it out in the sense that if you want to look really rich, you just put a lot of fucking lights on shit and make it look cool. And people think that you're rich. You've heard that saying, how do you tell, poverty from space? Well, you look at North Korea at night and there's no lights.
No lights on.
China's like, we're going to do the opposite. We're just going to run a bunch of fucking lights all the time,
LEDs everywhere.
Yeah, like you got LEDs on top of LEDs, and now they think that, well, we look really rich to the world, but it's not true.
Yeah, exactly. It's if you've been to Chongqing, you will know that it's not this like massive paradise. Like they call it like a cyberpunk city for a reason. Like cyberpunk is dystopian. Cyberpunk is rough. Chongqing looks rough if you actually go there. It's not this super advanced place that these guys are making out. No way.
Yeah, and that's the case for all Chinese cities, same. I used to always tell people that about Guangzhou, and you go down to in Guangzhou, you go to Tianhe, and it's beautiful down there because you're at the city center where everything's made to look nice. But then, you get to the outskirts of Tianhe where like people actually live, not these big shopping centers and stuff. And you're like, man, this place is a little dirty sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's tore up. Stuff's broken and stuff.
Go to the outskirts of any major city in China and it'll be the same thing. Right. Let's just rip through this quickly, mate. Sorry.
The ground level.
The ground floor level.
Ground.
The ground floor.
Ground level.
On the ground floor.
First floor.
The first floor.
Ground floor. Ground.
You'd be forgiven for thinking that we were on terra firma.
Okay, this guy has recently made a video mocking the fact that he's been called a shill for China. I don't know. Did you see it?
Yeah. And the if you check his website, he actually has a huge post on there, and he actually mocks it. He makes a big joke of it. He's like, "Oh, well, if they want to pay me, then they can pay me." Just no, what I mean? No standards at all.
My problem with this guy is that he goes to almost every other country and always finds the bad aspects of that place. But as soon as he's in China, he's just kissing ass. That doesn't really make sense to me. That's not the usual style of his channel.
Yeah, he has a new video too where he's walking around in China again and he's like, this is the real China. And he's like showing stuff that's like really shitty. But he's not really saying that it's shitty, They're still doing that thing where they're like, China is so safe, you can throw a bag in a bush and come back and get it 4 hours later. And it's like, well, yeah, because nobody's there. Like nobody cares. You know what I mean?
That's worthless. That's a worthless thing for them. Yeah. It's just dumb, man. It's dumb. Like if you left your case in London, I'm pretty sure someone wouldn't steal it as well, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, if you threw that shit in a bush, or something, really weird like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, God.
However,
We
are in fact.
But you actually.
I'm actually.
While actually is actually. You're actually.
But actually, we're actually
You're on the 22nd floor of a building.
On the 22nd floor.
22 stories up.
20 stories above the ground.
You're on the 20th floor.
Is that we are 22 floors up.
We are on the 22nd floor right now.
That's a 22nd floor.
Yep. 22 floors up.
You're at 22nd.
On the 22nd floor. On the 22nd floor.
And down here, there's 22 floors down the side of this building. Oh my days, check that out.
What did he say? Yeah. So anyway, Chongqing. Now, I thought it would only be fair to include a Chinese person's video about Chongqing. I went on to Baidu earlier, and I just wanted to show you what Chongqing looked like during the day. It doesn't always look great. It's kind of pretty polluted, to be honest with you. When I went there, I was struggling to breathe. The pollution was really that bad. So I think it's a good idea just to show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so that is the beautiful city of Chongqing. Ah, dear. Have you got anything else you want to say about these travel vloggers while we're here?
Yeah, no, I mean, there's nothing really more to be said about those guys. They're just fake, and it's like you said, Chongqing is not. It's not always what it seems. That's for sure. Those cities are, really bad with pollution at times. And like I said, I always tell people I lived in Guangzhou, and Guangzhou was better for pollution because it's in the south. And there were still plenty of days where I was like, man,
yeah.
And Chinese people would be like, "Oh, it's so cloudy today," and I'm like, "Yeah, cloudy,
yeah, misty, it's foggy today.
It's foggy." Yeah, they would say that it's foggy out. Like, foggy with what? Truck,
Foggy with Chinese characteristics.
Power plant coal, like what is it?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to it though that these travel vloggers, there's no hard proof that they have been paid by the CCP to do this propaganda. However, when you see that they're just using the same script, using the CCP's talking points, and all of this stuff, then it just all starts to get a little bit suspicious. So, yeah.
The one thing that I will say though, and really, I know we're pressed for time, but with the SHILL thing, the reason I actually got started in it was because I seen emails between a SHILL and a communist radio talk show in America here in New York, and I had seen where they were offering cash for that. So it is real. It does exist, but you're right in the sense that we don't have as much evidence as we would like, but it's just painfully obvious anyways.
Yeah. I'm just completely suspicious about anything to do with China when they're going around like talking about how great it is and not pointing out the flaws as well. So yeah, anyway, let's move on, shall we? So we have this. Oh dear. We have the film Nerja 2. It's a Chinese film about a mythical boy fighting demons. And this film has just made history. It's the world's highest grossing animated film. And if you can see on here, somebody's posted about it. So Nerja 2 is the world's highest box office grossing animation film. I think it's made over $1.8 billion. $1 billion.
It's taken the world by storm. The one, the only Nerja. The shit you've never heard of.
I know, right? I know. So it is beating such classics as Frozen 2, the Super Mario Brothers movie, Inside Out 2. In fact, all of these other movies are American-made animations, aren't
Right.
they?
That was one of the things that I thought was really funny. Was like, we get the number one selling movie. It's like, okay, well, who has number 2, 3, 4, 5? And it's like all the way down. It's like having the first one means absolutely nothing if you have nothing else. If anything, it just makes it more obvious that it's bullshit. It's like, what did you do to go from 0 to 100 overnight? What did you do? You know?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. A lot of nationalists in China, they went to watch this film in their droves, and apparently there were even some bosses of some companies who were giving their employees the day off as long as they went to watch this film. And they were even paying for employees to go and watch this film, which is ridiculous. It's like, imagine Hollywood needed somebody to do that for them, you know? Like,
oh man, that would be embarrassing, right?
have to rely on nationalists. So here it is. So here's the figures for it. You can see domestically, and when I talk about domestically, this is talking about America. So in the US, this film made $19 million. Now, I'm a film guy. I talk about films a lot. I go to the cinema every week, right? And I know that $19 million, that is considered a massive tank. That is a flop in Hollywood.
Yeah, that would be like someone's getting fired type shit.
Exactly. But then in China, international, it's made $1.8 billion. But then you look at like other territories, the film really failed in Hong Kong, only 5 million, Australia 4 million, New Zealand not even like 1 million. Like it's just it's only in China where this film is a big deal.
I think that's the thing that is a difference in Chinese culture that China doesn't largely understand. You know, the for people that don't know, Nuzha is it's a cultural, you know, one of these characters that has been around, and it's like the Monkey King. You know, probably heard of the Monkey King or whatever. It's one of these old, folklore type things. But here's the thing: in America, you know, when we make movies, we try to make movies that everyone can kind of adapt to and pay attention to. You know, I mean, it's just the way that it is, and same for you guys in the UK. You know, a lot of times I tell people this all the time. I'm like, you know that's a British actor, right? And a lot of Americans don't even know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
it's just shocking sometimes.
Yeah, it's so universally interchangeable. You know what I mean? But it's not the same in China. You know.
Yeah, and I think that this film, like you said, a film that usually does well internationally has like it's like got a universal appeal to it, right? And I don't think this particular cartoon does, because no one that I know of is going out saying, "Oh, have you seen Nurja 2 or whatever?" Nobody's even talking about it.
And even the you know, the China, the amount of money that's made in China obviously is not real. You know what I mean? It's just not.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when we used to go see movies. One movie that was really popular was it The Wandering Earth or The Wandering whatever it was?
Oh,
you know,
Liu Lang Ditio.
Right. And when we looked on the app, there was only about like 10 seats left, and we weren't going to get to sit together, so we were upset. So we went to a different movie theater, and it still showed sold out pretty much everywhere except for 3 seats, and we got the 3 seats. We get there, it was the opposite. There was only us there and nobody else there, even though the app told us that it was completely sold out.
That's crazy, like, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just
So what is that? Like, what are they doing? Are they bloating box office numbers to deceive people and give the Chinese domestic film more tickets, more like ticket sales or something?
Yeah, yeah, of course. And I mean, I used to see people all the time too. At like my wife's work, they were giving out like free movie tickets and stuff. And like, I don't know how they get all that stuff, but they'd be giving out free movie tickets, trying to get people to raise the gate so that they could go and make it look like a movie's getting a lot more views than it is,
Wow.
So I've seen that too.
Yeah, actually, that reminds me of a story when I was in China. I can't remember what film it was. I'm not sure if this is right. It was a while back, so my memory's not that great. I think it was Hobbs and Shaw, that Fast and Furious spin-off with Jason Statham and The Rock. And I went to watch that at a cinema in Dalian in China, and they sold me a ticket. But on the ticket, it said The Wandering Earth. And I took the ticket back. I was like, hey, sorry, guys, but you've given me the wrong ticket. I'm not going to see The Wandering Earth. I'm here to see Hobbs and Shaw or whatever it was. And they were like, oh, no, it's okay. We just do that. And I was like, huh? Didn't have a clue what was going on until later when I read that they actually print out tickets for the domestic film so they can like bloat the box office numbers to make the domestic films perform better. Shocking. Really shocking. And
it's almost,
yeah, go on.
It's almost like this is a byproduct of communism. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird, isn't it?
Oh, imagine that. Imagine that. So also you've got this BBC article and this an interesting title, Captain America must die in China, nationalism fuels Nerja 2 fans, which is quite an interesting article. You should go and read it if you want to know a little bit more. But basically, Captain America Brave New World, that's the new one that just came out recently. It's kind of not a thing in China. That like a lot of cinemas just weren't even playing it, all because of this Nerja 2, because they wanted this film to do well. They didn't want any competitors in there, which is, again, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, for people that don't know, actually in China, when you live there, you don't actually get to see the movies that you want to see, because a lot of the movies that come out in the West, there might be 100 movies that you want to see that year, and maybe out of 100, maybe only 10 of them will actually come to China.
Well,
they don't get every movie.
Yeah, actually, they have a limit for foreign films, and I believe it's 34 foreign films a year that they're allowed to play.
And wasn't it years ago where they had like Pirates of the Caribbean or something had came to China, and they just cut out like 30 minutes of the movie or something like that, or something like that. I don't remember what movie it was.
Yeah, they do lots of things. Like I remember, was it Mission Impossible 3 or something like that? They cut out a bunch of scenes because he was in Shanghai, and it was like a chase scene. He was running through the alleyways, and there was like old dirty clothes hanging up from people's done their laundry, so they cut that out. It's just ridiculous.
You go back and you watch the movie later back in the West, and you're like, I don't remember any of this shit. There's like 30 minutes in there.
Dude,
it's crazy.
They changed the ending for Fight Club. Like at the end of Fight Club, he takes down the corporations, he blows up the buildings, and it's like got that Pixies song playing, and it's really cool. Well, they completely cut that bit out of the Chinese version, and instead of like him succeeding in his mission to take down the corporations and the government and all of that stuff, instead some writing comes up on the screen saying that he was admitted to a hospital, he was arrested, and he was in a psychiatric ward getting treatment.
Yeah, like censorship in China has no bounds. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing because I always tell people we went to a Lil Jon concert in China, and
sorry?
Lil Jon, he's like a rapper, a rapper guy here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, Lil Jon's in China. We're gonna go see Lil Jon. Took the wife out, and in the middle of our show, the CCP literally shut it down because it had cursing. Well, it was pretty much like me and everyone else there was Chinese. I literally had to go to like Lil Jon, his like, and his two other buddies he had with him, And I was like, bro, it says you're shut down basically, and they're not gonna allow you to continue.
What the hell? Dude?
Like it was, I swear, because I was the only like other foreigner there.
Yeah,
I could just walk up to the stage and talk to him. It was
that's
like
crazy.
really
crazy.
weird. Yeah.
If only you got that on video, man. That would have been instant viral video.
I do actually have part of it on video where they shut it down.
Maybe that's some bonus footage for another day. Yeah, that sounds cool. Have you got anything you want to add about Nerjar 2? I just want to say actually, like, I have not seen the film, and I can't criticize a film that I haven't seen. But just from watching the trailer, which isn't always a good way to, like to judge a film, but just based on the trailer, I know that I'm not going to like it. Yeah, so I'm just going to say, like, I could say all of this shit about the film, but I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to say that it's a bit suspicious that it's like doing so well in China. And, like, it's great for them. It's amazing. But it's just like how they tried to get rid of Captain America, Brave New World, because they saw it as a threat for this film. It's kind of, they're not really playing on a level playing field here.
Yeah, it's just, unless you know Chinese culture and that type of stuff, the movie just wouldn't mean anything to you. It's the same thing for Monkey King. You're like, why do they keep putting him back in the mountain? It's like, I don't know. Well, you don't know. You know what I mean? You don't know the culture. That it doesn't mean anything to you. Same thing for this. It just won't mean anything to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like how could she fly? Well, I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I'm not knocking this film really. I just know I'm not going to enjoy this shit. To be honest with you, dude. Like,
it's probably pretty bad, to be honest. Really.
Yeah. But anyway, if anyone like in the comments has seen it, please let us know what you think of it. Okay, so let's move on. We are going to move on now. The Taiwan news. This is my favorite segment of the show because I love Taiwan and my whole channel's more or less focused on Taiwan these days. So I just wanted to replay. I've played this clip before, but I just wanted to show you guys one more time.
Where is the visa?
Taiwan. I don't need this.
You don't need visa?
It's not China, it's Taiwan.
Okay, so dude is at, I don't know exactly where he is, but he's at immigration in a country, and she asks, "Where's your visa?" And he's like, Don't need a visa. I'm not from China. I'm from Taiwan." And to me, that just is proof that Taiwan is not a part of China, right?
Yeah, I used to always have that situation where when Chinese people would argue with me, I'm like, well, I can go there without a visa, but you, for some reason, have to apply and get accepted. I can just show up on an airplane and walk in and be like, "Hey, fellas, how y'all doing?" But
have you been to Taiwan?
Yeah, yep, I've been to Taiwan, but I've only been to Taipei. So, I want to travel more, obviously. So yeah, but only Taipei for me. But,
yeah. Okay. Cool. So it's just funny how these like little pinks, Wu Maos, the nationalists, are always saying that it's a part of China, it's a part of communist China. But then why the hell do they need a visa to go to their own country? Why can't Xi Jinping go to Taiwan at the moment? It's really funny.
I can't find out why they want to bomb and invade their own country. It's weird to me. I just can't figure it out.
It's dumb, is what it is.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
It's not China.
Are you China?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
习近平可怜呐。
Okay.
The one thing I wanted to say, not to cut you off, but actually, I'm so proud of that guy too for being like, "Hey, listen, like I'm Taiwanese. I'm not, because I talked to a Singapore guy the other day, and he's like, I feel I feel Chinese, and I'm like, yeah, but you're not. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It makes me want to be like, yeah, I feel British, but I'm not. I'm white.
Yeah.
You know, I've got the ancestors there, but you know, I'm just not. You know,
Yeah. You're American.
you can't
So.
want yourself into being something you're not, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah. And like a lot of people will say, well, Taiwan is China because of the Republic of China. And okay, sure, we get it. But the fact of the matter is, it's not a part of CCP, Communist China. It's a different place. Okay, there will be people in the comments. I always get comments just like, "Oh, Taiwan is China, Republic of China." Okay. Yeah. So, anyways, I just wanted to just quickly talk about this. This was an article that I read in the BBC, and things are heating up in Taiwan. So, Taiwan's leader, this guy here, Lai Ching-te, he's pretty much came out swinging with some really, really strong words, calling China a foreign hostile force. That's not the usual approach from Taiwan. And he's not just talking the talk like most politicians do. He's actually taking action against it, and he's putting new security measures into place. So, for example, one of the big moves that he's making is he's reinstating the military court system. And if you guys don't know, for context, Taiwan actually got rid of this back in 2013. But with all of these rising tensions with China, President Lai wants military judges back on the front lines to handle criminal cases involving active duty military members. So what it's all about, it's about tightening up security and making sure everything's in check, because China have been taking the piss with Taiwan for such a long time. And yeah, it's just really great to see that they're actually taking some action against this now.
Yeah, when you were in Taiwan, I know you go around and you talk to a lot of people. I imagine when you asked people, you know, about if they wanted Taiwan to be independent or not, the vast majority, like, did you run into people that were like, yeah, I want them to go back together? Like, did that ever happen? Did you run into many people like that?
To be honest with you, the majority of the people that I met were definitely pro not being a part of China. They wanted to remain independent for sure. But every now and again, you do meet that one person who does identify with the mainland, but they tended to be like the older people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the younger generation, no.
It's a weird thing. Like you have some of these people that like they really want to identify with their roots. You know what I mean? And not with what they're doing now. You know. And again, that would just be like, again, me like saying I'm British or whatever. Like, yeah, you know, the family's there and the roots are there. But today and now, it's like, that's just not. Of course, the difference is we're not trying to kill each other, you know, whereas if mainland China and Taiwan have that, you know, they have that issue of Big Brother trying to take them by force, you know.
Yeah, it's quite ridiculous. Yeah. The situation is just ridiculous. I mean, what is it, like almost 80 years that they've been threatening to invade now?
Well, and that's the thing is they could probably, if they played it smart and they used soft power and things like that over time, it would probably be far more effective than it ever would to threaten to blow them up.
Here's the thing, dude. Here's the thing. Like, China doesn't have any good soft power.
Well, and it's funny. That's the thing is like, I always tell Chinese people, I'm like, whether you like it or not, you are so tied to the West. And that's all there is to it. You are. You could say that you're not, but you are. From the TV shows that you watch, to the movies you watch, to the clothes you wear, it's Western clothing. They don't wear Chinese clothes in China anymore. The dynasty days are over, man. They are so connected to the West in every which way culturally
Yeah.
That it's impossible to go back to being a real China. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, if you just look at their politicians, they're all wearing suits, aren't they? They're not wearing traditional Chinese clothes.
You got all these kids that are wearing Jordans and stuff like that, and they
Yeah.
love basketball and like, you know what I mean?
And they're all listening to Taiwanese music, you know.
Right. Like it's like China doesn't have its own, you know, its own identity in that way. They don't have any media to export to the world that people really can relate to. You know, nobody wants to hear that Beijing opera bullshit, you know. Nobody wants your corny fucking movies, your Naja, like
dude, I love Beijing opera, and the
Yeah,
Wandering Earth is my favorite film.
4 in the morning, I just kick on the Beijing opera and just, you know.
And yeah, I put my feet up, a bit of Beijing opera, followed by a screening of Nerja 2, you know?
I mean, imagine how it must feel for China. You're surrounded by everyone that has more cultural influence, but they're like 1/10 of your size. Like Korea's got K-pop, and you know they got all these foods and stuff.
Japan has anime and all of this other cool stuff.
Yeah, but
that's communism. That's what communism does, dude. Like it.
But China's got trains that
trains that go through buildings and up on the 22nd floor. Woo! Cool. Right, let's move on. Anyway, we're kind of we've still got a little bit more to cover.
Sure.
Come on, play. Come on, why is this not playing? Okay. Oh god. Okay, yeah, we'll just quickly rip through this one because it's just so goddamn ridiculous. So there was like a little pink in China put out this video saying that it's better to attack Australia than Taiwan, and I think the reason I wanted to show this is just because Australia, China, they're not your friend. Okay. They are not your friend. Australia seems to want to cozy up to China, not Australian people. I'm talking about the government. The same here in the UK, actually. But and then you get videos like this coming out of why it's better to attack Australia than Taiwan. Yeah, it's dumb.
It's weird because China, you know, China is just a very like safe and not aggressive nation. You know, they're not imperialist at all in China.
No.
But they continue to want to just take other people's shit all the time. You know,
yeah,
weird.
Yeah. They're like
and
the most peaceful country.
Think about the fact that they would even talk about that. You know, to take Australia. It's like when Donald Trump talked about taking Greenland, like people freaked the fuck out. You know what I mean?
That's true.
People went nutty. And then like they talk about taking Australia, and it's like, you know, nothing happens, you know.
That's very true. Very, very, very good point there, Corey, actually. That's ridiculous, man. That is ridiculous. Yeah. And what's interesting for me is that, you know, like they've been threatening to invade Taiwan for such a long time, and now all of a sudden they're like mentioning Australia, which is a Western power that has defense agreements with lots of other countries. They're really crossing the line with this one, and it's actually quite risky.
Yeah, and it's not going to get any better because here's the thing. You know, Donald Trump just went and talked to Russia, too, about the war in the Ukraine. Of course, China's not happy about that. You know, they've been supporting this war the entire time, giving money and stuff to them. And a failed Ukrainian invasion doesn't look good for them in invading Taiwan in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's embarrassing.
They're unhappy about that. Yeah. And it just goes to show that Russia and China are just inconvenient neighbors. And same thing for, you know, Vietnam and the Philippines and Australia. They're all neighbors of China, and none of them like China.
Yeah. And what's interesting is Australia's population is more or less the same as Taiwan, believe it or not. Which is crazy to me.
It's an interesting point, yeah. And that's the thing, like you mentioned too, all these countries they want to keep involved with China, not because they like China, and it's because losing China as a trading partner is a big deal, especially when you're a large, or a small country, like you guys in the UK. Like, it's a little different when America goes around throwing tariffs around, because we'll probably be okay for a while. It's going to be inconvenient, don't get me wrong, but you don't want to be a smaller country trying to throw around tariffs and stuff, without the European Union, of course, and all that, But
that's why the UK is kissing China's ass.
But they need to be more strict, really, on China. Really, the entire world needs to come together and just say, listen, like, it's over. You can't be making threats like that.
Exactly, man. Like I said, Australia, it has allies, so it's like declaring war on America.
Yeah, it would be a big difference. Like, certain people now are talking about how they think even Taiwan is losing influence in the world, but it's not. And if actually going and attacking Taiwan, boots on the ground, the world would be in an uproar really fast. Same thing for Australia. You know what I mean?
So shall we watch this video?
Sure. Yeah.
台岛不如先打澳大利亚，这个脑洞有点大。这几天关于台湾说法比较火，那就是与其先打台湾，不如先打澳大利亚。
Why don't you hit Australia?
理由是，从兵力上看，台湾有小20万，实力强，土地密度大，而澳大利亚只有6万多，要好打许多。从面积看，台湾3万多平方公里，澳大利亚700多万平方公里，能获得的土地台湾的几百倍。
Those subtitles were whack, by the way. I didn't do those, in case you were wondering. All right, this is funny. So this sign, it says, if you wear stockings, you can basically, if you go in this restaurant and you wear stockings, you can eat for free, basically, is what it's saying.
You gotta be black. Gotta be black stockings, too.
Yeah. So you see all these dudes wearing stockings. This is somewhere in China. I have no idea where it is. You got this dude. I mean, I got to say, that's pretty cool. He's eating for free, so, Yeah. We got Corey with his stockings over his head there as well. Kind of looks like Butthead from Beavis and Butthead when he's like, I'm Cornholio. So yeah, that was just a funny clip that was going around. I thought we should play. Then next, what have we got? Oh yeah, okay. Wow, this is probably the most dystopian scene out of China that I have ever laid my eyes on. You just need to watch this, okay? We're not going to talk about it. Just watch. Dance if you like it.
Makes me want to kill myself.
This is awful. Look at it. Like, look at the pollution. Look at the trash everywhere. The crazy behavior.
I know. What is she doing? What was that?
Let's see it again. We need to see that again.
I think she turned into a seal.
Like a... What's that thing called? A walrus.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what that was. What is she doing?
I don't know why I included this clip, really, just to show you how weird it is sometimes in China, I guess.
It's funny. You go to a beach sometimes here in Florida, and people will be like, there's a little bit of moss on the beach. It makes me want to be like, oh, yeah? How about a dumpster on the beach? What do you think about that?
A dumpster that's like collapsing over. Hold on, look. It's kind of like, yeah, look, it's like the leaning. You've seen the Leaning Tower of Pisa. This is the leaning dumpster of China.
And it's like mixed in with the sand. They're all stepping on it. And then the pollution on top of it above them is like insane.
No, it's fog, Corey. It's fog, okay?
Sorry, fog. It's foggy. It's foggy out on the beach, apparently.
And that's not trash. That's just a new type of sand, okay?
Yeah, apparently. It's all biodegradable.
Okay,
Goes back to the earth.
this is the last clip we're going to play, I promise, because we're kind of coming towards the end of the stream today. So I just wanted to show this. I'm not really going to talk too much about it. You can see here, this is from the Great Translation Movement. They have an awesome Twitter page, by the way, or X if you're into X. So go and check them out, the Great Translation Movement. They basically find a bunch of clips from China and then they translate it into English. They're really awesome guys. And, you know, they've got millions of followers or thousands of followers now. They're just epic. So they posted this. It's like on March 15th, a Chinese J-15 fighter jet caught on fire and crashed in training near Lingao, Hainan province. Pilot was ejected and landed safely per social media reports. So one of their amazing fighter jets, their next generation fighter jets, crashed. So let's watch it. Is it going to play? Or
Hey!
Don't worry, I did a slow mo as well. There it is. Boom.
Oh, no.
No, that you can see the pilot ejected there.
Yeah,
but
biodegradable.
Crazy, right? And that is like in a civilian area by the looks of things. I don't know if it crashed into a building or what, you know, but that is pretty dangerous.
Yeah, they be talking all that shit about us having planes going down. In China, they're having like fighter jets go down. Like that's like there's been a bunch of them recently of these fighter jets in China that have been crashing, weirdly enough.
And the shocking thing is like you said, if this happened in America or in the UK, this would be front page news all over the world. Everyone would be talking about it. They'd be criticizing America and the UK's government for having like terrible safety practices and all of this stuff. It would just go viral. But this is like relatively unheard of.
Yeah, I would never hear the end of it from the Democrats here in America. You know, it would just be on be on CNN nonstop. You know.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be all over the news.
I guess that's what happens though when you like copy someone else's technology and you don't actually understand how that shit was made or produced and engineered and all that, and then you put your pilots in it, you know, and they're just like, you know, they don't know shit. So
yeah,
because we know that J-15 is not really a J-15, you know.
Oh, it's a copy of the F. Is it F? Is it even called the F-15? I don't know much about fighter jets. So is it F-15?
Yeah. It's one of those copies of the F-16 thing.
Oh, the F-16, right? Yeah. I mean, you think they could have come up with a better name, right? I mean, they just literally picked another like letter of the alphabet and just a number below. So, what the hell? Be more creative.
Engineering is a lot more difficult than just copying. You know, it's
you actually have to name it.
Yeah, you gotta have your own names.
It's ridiculous, mate. It's ridiculous. So let's just watch that epic fail one more time. Look at it. There it is.
It's nose diving too. It's not like a minor mistake. That thing is like nose diving into the ground.
Yeah, and luckily YouTube, before you freak out and demonetize this stream, it doesn't look like anybody got hurt. It was just a plane crashing. The pilot ejected. So do not freak out and demonetize the stream, YouTube, if you are watching. Thank you.
some hurt feelings, but nobody died.
Yeah, exactly. Some real hurt feelings, man. Some real hurt feelings.
Didn't actually happen. What's not real?
Exactly, dude. Exactly. So that is our stream for today. Another one in the bank. So I think it was quite an interesting one today. I hope everybody enjoyed it. And how is your cold? Are you still feeling rough?
Yeah. It's surprisingly, thankfully, I've kept my voice, and I haven't coughed up a lung through the entire live. So
you did good, dude. You did good.
I made it. I think I made it. Yeah.
You did well. You did well. I think that we should take a little time. Like we've still got sort of 5 minutes or so that we can spare. So if anybody has anything that they want to say in the chat, I would recommend like asking us a question. That would be better than just writing something random for us to read. So yeah, just maybe ask us a question. If you've got something you want us to answer, then go ahead. It's question time. And if you don't, we'll just end the stream. So that's even better. And we've got
make us ask questions, please.
Okay, so we got Mark saying, "Yay, love you guys doing shows again." Yeah, man, I'm super stoked about doing a live stream with Corey again. It's great, great. I think we got to keep it up, dude.
Yeah, and always my shameless self plug. If you don't know who I am, head on over to Prime in China and like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. If I've actually put in the video's description, there's a link to both of our channels. So if you're watching from Corey's, because we are streaming on both, then go and check out Free China. But I'm pretty sure if you know who Corey is, then you probably know who I am as well, because we do videos together.
I know you're my sea milk. We're gonna call you L milk.
So who are you? Like Prime ZA or something? I don't know.
Fatty Winston.
Yeah, dude, you used to walk around China with a suit, to be honest with you. Like when I first saw you, I was like, oh look, it's Winston ripoff.
When I first went to China though, I was actually working for a company over there. And then after that shit, I started teaching business English to people, and they were like, well, you gotta wear a suit. We seen you in the suit the first time, and I'm like, I don't wear a damn suit to teach English.
Sweating. That would be horrible, dude.
Guangzhou, man. It was horrible. It was horrible. Jeez.
Any update on the Krusty incident at the embassy protest? Not really. I mean, he called me a racist.
Yeah, word on the streets is he still has his head up to CCP's ass, but that's just what I've heard.
Yeah, I think that's what that basically that is not what it wasn't a balaclava that he was wearing. That was the shit from the CCP after he'd had his head up their ass.
That guy. I wish we could get him on here. I just want to be like, why?
Okay, well, let's put out a challenge to Krusty then. If any of you guys know Krusty, or if Krusty, if you're in fact watching, how about you come on to this live stream and you call me a racist on here, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
Does he know you? Because you've met him in real life a couple times now. Did he know who you were before he seen you in real life?
So the first time I met him, it was in St. Pancras Station. I was with Brendan Kavanagh, Dr. K, and Krusty just showed up out of nowhere. I had no idea who he was, and he had no idea who I was. But then all of a sudden, I remembered I'd seen him on a video before. There's a really quite a viral video of him in London's Chinatown harassing Falun Gong members. So it clicked, and then I just all of a sudden remembered this is a pro CCP dude.
He should come here then. Come to Orlando, where I'm at. Falun Gong. They have a very strong foothold on Chinatown, and they'd probably I don't know what they would do to him, but they got some power around here. I'm not supportive of Falun Gong or anything like that. You know, but I mean, if you had to pick your poison, probably go to choose Falun Gong. Just saying, but yeah, you know.
Yeah,
but you're not going to see me doing any dancing in the park. That's for sure. So, yeah.
Hey, man, you know, I don't 100% support Falun Gong, obviously, you know, but they're doing their own thing. Let them get on with it, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. But so yeah, I mean, if he wants to come on and have a discussion and actually try and make communism sound like a good thing, I mean, he's more than welcome to. I would love to have him on.
And I want him to explain to me why criticizing a government is racist. That should be interesting.
We're changing definitions here.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. Let's see. This one. Go on, Corey.
Why does China try to copy the U.S. military in everything? I mean, again, being innovative. You know, that's the thing is being maybe the only thing America does good anymore is maybe military innovation, right? You know, but I mean, our cars here kind of suck now. You know, we don't do anything else. But it's just so much harder to innovate than it is to just copy. You know, it's everything you look at in Chinese history. Everything you look at in China, if you look back at the history of it, they brag about trains. Well, they've stolen train technology from you guys and Japan and
Germany.
Same thing. You know, they don't have a real airplane. That's why they still use Boeing over there. But they copy the stuff and all that. You know, it's people don't understand that a lot of this technology is way above what they have.
Yeah,
especially like Taiwan. You know, Taiwan semiconductors are.
Yeah,
you know,
that's why they're copying U.S. military and everything is because they don't have it, and they need it. Basically, is your answer. Okay, am I going to Taiwan this spring? I want to, but like, I don't know, man. Like, plane tickets are expensive and. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'd love to go back there. I'm just still umming and ahhing about it, to be honest with you. Let's see. Yeah, we got quite a lot of comments, but not really a hell of a lot of questions. Oh yeah, like Krusty, if you're here, I dare you. See, Krusty?
We dare you, Krusty. We dare you.
You know, you can wear the balaclava if you're too much of a wimp to show your face as well, you know? That's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. All
He's
right.
going to have the same talking points that they always have anyways.
Oh, dude, like, whatever, man. Like, at the end of the day, he might have some points to make, you know? Like, he might actually have something to say, but... Yeah. It's just going to be the same old crap. He's just going to like call me a racist and call you a racist, and he's just going to throw that word around because he thinks people are scared of being called a racist, even when they're not a racist. That's just what they do. Yeah. Idiots.
Well, you just hate Chinese people. You know, I mean,
yeah. Even though like at that freaking protest, there were like actual Chinese people there to protest against the CCP. You know what I mean? Well,
they're racist too.
Oh yeah, they're racist. Yeah, they're just all racist.
That's how it works.
In fact, I think it's either tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm going to release it tomorrow or next week, but I have got a video. I made a whole video about why it's not racist to criticize the CCP, and that's for Krusty's eyes. So yeah. Hopefully that will be released tomorrow if I get it finished properly. So yeah, cool. I think that's it. That's us done, right? Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you all so much for joining. Please don't forget to go and subscribe to Corey's channel as well. Get him to. I want to get you to like over 10,000 subscribers if we can. That would be nice.
Hello, friend.
we gotta keep your channel going, dude. Your channel's not gonna die. Come on.
And this live has been sponsored by Halls. If you're sick,
you have that are they American? Halls.
I have no idea, dude.
Yeah, we have them here as well. Halls Soothers. Yeah, cool.
Who knows?
All right, guys. Well, anyway, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you all in the next one.
Made in Canada?
What? Halls are made in Canada? Okay, get rid of that. Too many shills are from Canada, yeah? You know what I mean?
Yeah, plus we're having a fake war with Canada right now, so yeah.
All right, Corey. Well, anyway, take it easy, mate, and see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.